Alright. Alright. Hello, YouTube. Alright. This is Agent Ironcat here. Here for another one of my little rants here. And I think this is a very special rant because I want to talk about something that got my attention on Sunday as I'm recording this on a Monday. Alright. So, if you check on the title page up there, it says, entitled, Leave Reggie Alone. Now, why did I title this? Because that's what this rant's going to be about today. Alright? About yesterday, if you check the news on Game Informer or IGN or whatever post you go to, you find out that there's a fight going on to getting 3 certain games into North America, which is Xenoblade, Last Story, and Pandora's Tower. 3 simple little Japanese games that, probably won't come to America, but coming somewhere else. So, the story about this, it actually started on Friday, where it started to come in France, and then it came out in Europe, and then it came out everywhere else, but not in North America. So, when I checked the news yesterday, I found out this little place from Game Informer that their gamers it's talking about gamers fighting to get these games into North America. Okay, so what's the deal behind that? I don't even know, but I think the main problem I have with this is the people who comment back on these things, and all of it's the same song and dance. It's like, oh, we're not getting these games, we're upset, and then who are they gonna blame? Who else? Nintendo of America's president, Reggie Fils-Amie. Now, for starters, I started reading this and I said, what the hell? Seriously. You're gonna argue about 3 Japanese games that probably never come to America, and what do? You go on the forums and you get upset and you start blaming Reggie for everything because they're not coming to the States. Come on, seriously. What kind of gamers are you? Have we gone so jaded that a certain game doesn't come out in Japan, that if it doesn't come here, that we should just start going ape shit and going on the internet using flame wars and shit? I don't understand that. That's kind of a lowbrow stupidity, a very extremely stupid tactic to use. Just, oh, we're America, we don't get these games, and so we go blaming it on Reggie because he's NOA's president and he should get these games. Wow, we hate him, blah, blah, blah. The other guys from there before him was much better than that, alright? Bullshit, alright? That's instant bullshit. But that's what's going on the internet. You can go on these forums or these websites on the Nintendo section. You can find it there. You can see all the ridiculous shit they talk about. It's always the same song and dance. Oh, we don't get these games. Blame Reggie. We don't get all the good stuff. Blame Reggie. For all the things that we complain about the simplest little shit. Especially from Nintendo fans. I'm a Nintendo fan, but I don't care if these games come out. Just make sure they're good. But I'm not one of those people who get upset because Japan and Europe and maybe Australia and some places of Europe, maybe UK or so, get these games that we don't. There's been a lot of games like that. Remember Disaster Day of Crisis? If you don't, you should check about that game. That game never came out, alright, in America. And people started all this crap for nothing. This is because most of the time this is sourced from IGN. So everybody knows about IGN, the most biased web page in the internet. Your one-stop source for flame wars and hate and all that good stuff. But it seems that no matter where you go on the internet, now they're starting the same old thing. This whole spread of hatred coming from IGN. Now, usually I have my big problems with IGN and all that stuff. It's just every source I go to, I go to Game Informer every time, but when I look at that source, when they got their sources from, it's from one single website. one annoying ass website, which is IGN. Now, I don't get why they're the only ones that get all this stuff, but I know it's starting some hate across the internet. I mean, there's been a lot of games out there that haven't come here. You can look them up. There's like Captain Rainbow. Like there was one that was one of the Japanese games. It's supposed to be almost like Beautiful Joe, which was a good game, but they didn't come out to America for some reason. Maybe because it wasn't good enough. Maybe the American market couldn't accept that. But I think most of the reason why, from a business point, is that it won't sell very good. Like one of the things I learned from all these news is the deception of hype for a game is not always the exception of when it comes out. In other words, the rewards outweigh the risk. So out of that, yeah, they should maybe put these games out, but what guarantee that you people who argue about it that are going to get this game and think it's going to be the greatest thing ever? You don't. I don't have evidence that it may not be the most worst game, but then again, you people don't have evidence that it's going to be a great game. That's right. For all we know, this game could come out in America and it probably end up being shit. That's right, ends up being shit. So what happens when that happens? When the games that you finally want to come to America ends up being a total piece of shit. Like, for example, let's take Last Story, for example. Yeah, it's made by the Mistwalker, the groups who made the Final Fantasy games. Question. Do you really want something from Final Fantasy after all they did throughout the years? I mean, have you played Final Fantasy? I played 12 and 13 and they was just terrible, unforsaken pieces of garbage. Very straight, very narrow, very lost and terrifying. It's by Square Enix. Square Enix, the company that totally lost its touch. I mean, let's see what they did. They screwed up Final Fantasy. They screwed up the Mario Sports Mix. Yeah, if you get that game, you find out that game is made by Square Enix. And they didn't make that good. Let's see. We're still waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. Who knows when that's going to come out? Who knows? Alright? And speaking of sportsmen, I hear a lot of complaint about people complaining that, oh, they should go back and make Mario RPG like the one they did a long time ago. Well, if they're not going to make it, they're not going to make it. So why are you complaining about something that they're not going to make? And do you really want to trust Square Enix again on a game that probably won't be that good? Another thing I want to talk about, because it's really important, I got to get this out of the way, is that people think that most of these games that they're not showing it in America are cool. We don't know that for sure. Maybe if you're an importer, yeah, that'll be good, probably. But like I said, the rewards outweigh the risk for some people. But sometimes the risk outweighs the rewards. Like, yeah, it could be a risk that, well, maybe it's not going to sell very good. So let's not bring it to America. But that's all I'm hearing about. Bring it to America. Bring it to America. Like, no. Why not? Well, why? I mean, that really kind of mystifies me. For one thing, you're caring about 3 Japanese games, and for all we know, probably won't be the greatest things ever. Now, yeah, at this time, yeah, it's after E3. Yeah, we're going to hit that drought, which is August. We all know that's the gamers' drought. For all that, when hardly any game's good except for Madden. That's a good time to get Madden and stuff. But it's just kind of screwy, especially from the website IGN, which they're complaining the most out of this. Like, oh, why we ain't getting this game and we're getting all these third-party games and all this stuff. Like, for example, because they're out there. These are games they wanted to get out there, and everybody knows that Nintendo's not the greatest company for like transferring all their games, going to that, especially from the Wii to the Wii U, and then console sorts resources. I think that's the name. Resource switches. Yeah, they're not very good at that, so they're gonna go go cookie on you and stuff. But one thing I really don't understand is why are you people so angry that these 3 little games don't come out? Yeah, they won't, like RPG, probably 3 RPGs that probably won't be as good as them. And like, let's face it, I think all these people looking for is something to rage and hate on. They have nothing to do. All these games have come out, so what do all those websites do? They talk about these games and they put the no spin. And what do the viewers do? All you viewers out there, or the readers out there who subscribe or sign up to their little club, you start flame wars. You start flame wars and you hate and you point and you bicker and you always bitch and moan and cry over everything because, oh, certain games don't come out here in America or it's coming out here. Okay, fine, but we have to be patient, alright? I think that's the problem we're having. We don't have enough self-control. And when we don't have self-control, we don't think. We don't think, alright? Not to be busting some knowledge on you, but patience is a virtue. In order for this, we have to wait. We have to learn self-control, alright? We all need to calm down and stop trying to point the finger on Reggie from NOA because, yeah, he's the president of Nintendo America. Yeah, he's supposed to be games. But most of these games are controlled by Japan, which is by Satoru Iwata. So, Nintendo Japan is the core of the whole Nintendo industry. It's the big cheese. It's the head of operations. Alright? So, if they're not going to make it, if Nintendo of Japan think this game is not going to sell in America, well, it's not probably going to come to America. Okay? So, I don't get why you people are always upset, raging, hating, all that stuff, and pointing the finger on Reggie Fils-Amie. Just leave him alone, alright? He got his thing going on with NOA. Iwata got his thing going on in Japan, and every other representative of Nintendo, whatever country you're from, has their own little thing. Alright? Stop trying to point fingers because you are upset because these games you want for your collection and just for your collection, you just can't have. Alright? Think about it. Think about all the people that don't have certain games out there. For example, the Mother series. Yeah. Or Earthbound. We've been asking for that game for years. A remake and all that stuff. We're not going to get it. Alright? If he thinks it's not going to sell, then, well, it's not going to sell. And we still cry about Earthbound. Alright? So just like Earthbound and Captain Rainbow and all those other games that don't come out here, if it's not going to come out here, then don't start flame wars and start hating and stop pointing the finger on Reggie because you're only hurting yourselves when you do this. It's not that I'm not trying to be all angry, but I think it's time to face facts and face reality for what it really means. Alright? So all you people pointing the finger, knock it off. Learn some patience, learn some self-control, alright? So that's going to be the end of my rant because that's all I have to say about this. Not to be going negative Nancy on everybody, but I think I have to say this for your own good. So if you think this rant is going crazy, comment it, rant it, subscribe to it, hit me back with some feedback, make a video response for it. Like, I need to know, why are you people so angry? Why can't you learn some self-control? A little self-discipline doesn't hurt nobody, but it sure does help. So I have to say, that's my rant. So peace out.